Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant. I'm in an airport in San Francisco preparing for a flight to Utah after meeting with the CEO of Bank of the West, fantastic young lady, the first Indian female CEO of a bank in the country. So we should all be through sort of cheering that of a major bank in the country. I'm John O'Brien, founder, chairman, and CEO of Operation Hope, author of the best-selling book How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path to the Middle Class, the solution for the 100%, that means you and me. Also the best-selling book Love Leadership, The New Way to Lead in a Fear-Based World. I'm going to talk to you very quickly, about 10 minutes before my flight, about my path from homeless to CEO. Somebody suggested this is actually a great, hey Stephanie, I see you signing in, LaShawn. LaShawn says I can finally hear you. Okay, that's great. I hope that, please excuse the earpiece. I just don't want to disturb almost everybody here in the club in San Francisco. So hopefully, let me know you can hear me just fine. But please excuse, I'm not trying to be cool. I've got this on for discretion purposes and to make sure that you can hear me perfectly. I see everybody signing on. Hello. By the way, one of our videos went viral, about 700,000 views. The piece I did on modern slavery, setting yourself free, went viral this morning on the hip hop site. So we got 4.6 plus million views to this Straight Talk series. Operation Hope services are increasing, so people are accessing the services, people are taking their lives back. And 98% of the comments have been positive and productive. You don't have to agree with me, you just have to think for yourself and not be a jerk when you comment in order to not be blocked or deleted. And like 98% of the people have self-police. So, and then what's really great is you have jumped in. I'm not saying anything anymore. You're now jumping in, telling people to being ridiculous, to shut up. So, you are deciding to take your life back. It's the best solution possible. There's nothing wrong with us, nothing, except we don't know that we don't know. It's what we don't know that we don't know that's killing us. But we think we know. It's what we don't know that we don't know that's killing us. But we think we know. Also, poverty. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. We're reconnecting. It's really funny. I've got a Wi-Fi connection anyway. As you know, I never give up. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is economic, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind, a depressed condition of your spirit and your mind. You must vow never to be poor again, which you are deciding to do. Okay, so some people have suggested this is a good book title. My next book is called The Memo. So from homeless to CEO, delivering the memo. Do you like that as a title? You're going to help me decide it, all right? Or do you just like the memo? Let me jump into this for a limited time. And I see Sandy Jones jumping in, Benjamin, Carrie Summerland, Emmanuel Lopez. Hey, for the first time live. Hello, George Gibson. When am I speaking in Los Angeles, George? I don't know. I don't look at my schedule more than a few days in advance, but you can go to operationhope.org to look at my schedule, or Bryant Group Ventures. Tyrone, we miss you at something DC. I'm not quite sure what that means, but once you define that for me. I travel too much. I don't know what MOHG is. You'll tell me. Julius, Joy, and Aleem, Stephanie, etc. Okay, let me jump into this. From homeless to CEO is great. The memo is good. Okay, broader demographics. Keith, okay. Well, I'm listening to you guys, you can see. Let me jump into the structure here. So there's 10 rules that I've decided to share with you from homeless to CEO. I grew up in Compton, California. Was born in Good Samaritan Hospital in downtown Los Angeles. And so I grew up first in South Central LA, what was Santa Barbara Boulevard, then became Martin Luther King Boulevard in South Central LA, then in Compton, California. To a mother who had an 11th grade education. She corrected me, not 8th grade, but she left high school to take care of her family, went back at age 62 and went and got her high school diploma and marched with cap and gowns with 18-year-olds. So she was no shame in her game. My mom has an 840 credit score today, is financially independent, and takes no mess. Has lived, a wonderful life and given birth to 3 children that are all great except for me, who's admittedly crazy. And my dad, who had an 8th grade education and built a business, and I'll talk about him in another video. Okay, 10 rules. 10 rules. Here we go. Rule number 1, love myself. If I don't love me, I can't love you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not going to feel good about you. If I don't respect me, I can't we're reconnecting. If I don't love me, I'm not going to love you. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I'm going to make your life a living hell. So you've got to learn to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, you have nothing to give. If you're insecure, you're going to pass that on to others. If you're depressed, you're going to hate on everybody else around you. You don't see the glasses half full, you see the glasses half empty. You're going to have people in your life, maybe even in your family, who for good intentions are hating on you or not lifting you up, and you got to isolate yourself from that, insulate yourself from that, and that begins with loving yourself. Become reasonably comfortable in your own skin. That is rule number one, and that's why I encourage you not to be angry for a living, not to be pissed off for a living, not to be frustrated for a living, not to be black for a living, not to be brown or white for a living, not to be stuck in some ridiculous cage of frustration for the rest of your life. Set yourself free here, and then it'll translate into here. Love it. Number two, one rose in, and number two, believe in me. I'm looking at my notes, so I make sure I stay on script for you and give you these 10 points in a short period of time. Number two, love myself, number one. Two, believe in myself. Essentially what I just said about how you comport yourself and how you look at yourself is belief. Because if you don't believe in yourself as the product, nobody else is going to, right? If you're negative, you're going to attract that, right? So if you hang around 9 broke people, you will be the 10th. If you hang around 9 depressed people, you'll be the 10th. If you hang around 9 fat people, you'll be the 10th. You hang around 9 out of shape people, you'll be the 10th. You become what you hang around, right? So watch your environment. Believe in yourself. 3, it's really funny how I'm rolling into these without seeing my notes. Role model success. Essentially, that's what I just said, right? My dad was a businessman, so I became a businessman. My mother told me she should love myself, and so I did. So the 2 building blocks of my life was a sense of yes, I am. My mother telling me, Juanita Smith, I love you for every day of your life. And it's really interesting because my mother wasn't told that she was loved, so she did what she did through God, what she was not able to do for herself, and I'm so thankful to her. And my dad, and no, we don't get along all the time, but that's family, right? We get along most of the time, but that's just family and that's just life. My dad was a businessman, even though he was financially illiterate, frankly. But from him, I got a sense of yes, I can. So those were my 2 building blocks. And if you don't have that in your family, go find it someplace else. But you gotta get those 2 pieces. So 1, love you. 2, believe in you. 3, role model success. 4, be positive, right? Because what's the alternative, right? Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right. And is the glass half full or is it half empty? It depends who's looking at the glass. But I guarantee you, your life will come out exactly as you frame it. So if you frame it negatively, it's going to come out negatively. If you see the world as a conspiracy, you're going to find a conspiracy everywhere you look, right? So role model success, that's 4. 5, be persistent. Be persistent. Probably my number 1 trait is I just never, ever, 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 ever give up. Be persistent. So that's 5, okay? Number 6, find a find a purpose in your life. I ask people all the time, what are you passionate about? So whatever you're passionate about, you're going to be good at. And if you're not passionate about it, you're going to be lousy at it. If you're at work and you say you're tired, quit. Because you're not passionate about it. In fact, you probably detest it, and you're going to be horrible at it. You'll be in late, long lunch, leave early. When you love what you do, it's not work. It's not a struggle. You get up every day excited about it. You may be exhausted, but you want to grind. You want to hustle because other than being exhausted, you love what you do. So find what you're passionate about and turn that into your occupation, or your, not a vocation. It's an advocation, right? It's what you would do for free if you could. Number 7, be immune to failure and rejection. This is so important. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. I take no for vitamins. People tell me no all the time. I don't pay any attention to it. If people tell me 9 no's, but I get 1 yes, I focus on the 1 yes. What are you focused on? Depressed people focus on the 9 no's, by the way, and then turn that into a conspiracy in their head, right? And then they sit on the couch and say, I'm done, the world is against me, right? And then the world the bad guys really have won at that point. Okay, number 7, so be immune to failure and rejection. Number 8, get the memo on money. So go read the book How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, or read a number of other great books that are out there. Go do some research on the Freedmen's Bank, because this is critically important. The 20th century was really about democracy. So you had Gandhi in India, you had Nelson Mandela in South Africa, you had Desmond Tutu, my friend. You had Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., my mentor Andrew Young in the southern states in America. You had Michael Collins in Ireland. You had Harriet Tubman in the early 20th century. You had Mother Teresa. You had all these people who were basically trying to use, not to a lesser degree Mother Teresa, by the way, but to use a system of democracy, the right to vote, to level the playing field. And that's in the 20th century. But in the 21st century, the issue today and around the world is economics. It's money. It's ownership. And if you don't, I mean, the number one issue is a job. Why are folks joining ISIS? The number one recruitment tool in the Middle East is no jobs, right? Jobs and hopelessness. Why are we having problems in inner cities? No jobs. What did Van Jones say? The best way to stop a bullet is a J-O-B, a job. The crisis in our communities are no jobs, it's an economic issue, right? So understand money. Even slavery at its base was financially motivated. How do you build a country for free? They built it literally in the back of slaves from an economic perspective. The Civil War was about the South resisting Northern economic domination. That's another video, another time. And if you're really interested in that, let me know, and I will comment on that later. So get the memo on money. Go to OperationHope.org. Sign up for our free programs. Get the book How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. The services are free. Sign up where you are around the country. Go to the Urban League. Go someplace. But get the memo on money and pass it down to your kids. And then if you can take the money, right, and you can then create a nonprofit or a foundation to help your community. So you can use free enterprise and capitalism in a positive way. Money's not bad. It's the love of money and the greed that's bad. All right, 9, get a job. Okay? If you can't get a job, create a job. But you can't do much for anybody else if you can't do for yourself. These two hobos were on a train, and they were looking at the time for my plane. They would get kicked off this train. And I think this is a Jesse Jackson joke. And one dude was like, "Hey man, I'm upset. I got kicked off this train." The other hobo said, "I'm upset. I got kicked off the train too." So the first hobo said, "Well, I'm gonna buy this here train." And the second hobo said, "I'm gonna sell it to you." Get it? Both are so broke they can't pay attention, right? To quote Quincy Jones, you don't want to be a broke prophet, right? A broke prophet. So you can't give what you don't have. Even when the plane is going down, the flight attendant will tell you, put the oxygen mask on your face first and then your child. Because if you can't save you, you can't save them. And what are you role modeling in your family? Are you role modeling anger? Are you role modeling failure? Are you role modeling frustration? Are you role modeling no job? In Macon, Georgia, and the housing director told me that a lady walked in full of pride and passion and vinegar, demanding that she was able to live in the housing project owned by the city that her grandmother lived in. Her perception of success was to be able to live in the housing project that her grandmother lived in, and then her mother lived in. There's nothing wrong with this woman, but her definition of success is extremely low. What did Benjamin May say, who is the mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? He said that the ultimate sin was not failure, it's low aim. The ultimate sin is not failure, it's low aim, right? So let's get our aim up, right? Jackie Forrest says good stuff, things I live by and try to instill in my children. Some took a long time to implement and are become fully confident in doing. Thanks for the positive influence you contribute. Create a job. Cool. That's what I did. Need the 10-point again. Could not hear. That's Joy Collins. Okay, I'll repeat them real quickly, but I'm coming to the end of this. All right, so number 9 is you can't create a job, get a job. Number 10, expand your definition of family and leave a legacy. It's so easy for people to have a kid. We're reconnecting, good. Some people need to have a license to have a child. I'll repeat that. Some people need to have a license to get a license to have a child. Some people, it's criminal that some people are having children. Children are having children. Nutcases are having children. Stupid people are having children. Irresponsible people are having children. Children are having children, and they like 25-year-old grandmothers is driving me nuts, right? It should be driving you nuts, right? So we have got to get the memo on building a family, and that means if you want to have a child, take care of them. This mama's baby, daddy's maybe thing is ridiculous, right? Baby's daddy's ridiculous. Either you're a mother or you're a father. Take care of your kids. You're gonna have a child. Take care of them. Write the check. I mean, you did the deed, so finance the feed. Take care of your child. But once you have a family, expand the definition of family. When people ask me about my family, I say it's the world. I say I'm a global citizen. So I say I've got 2 billion children. Think about your family as your block, as your community, because we're all in this thing together. Because whatever goes around comes around. So do well and do good. Do well by doing good. Because if your family, if your block is filled with crooks and criminals and thieves, you can't even sleep well at night, right? So you need to have your block and your family, your tribe, your posse as positive as you are, as aspirational as you are, so that everybody can rise. Okay, I'm going to repeat these 10 rules all at one time. Let me know if you like this, by the way. Number 1, love me. In this case, love yourself. That's rule number 1. To become reasonably comfortable in your own skin. Nothing more important. Number 2, believe in you, even when other people don't, including people in your family. Number 3, role model success. Number 4, be positive. And I think I say be persistent. Maybe that might be number 5. Be persistent, right? Never give up. Number 6, find a purpose. Figure out what you're passionate about and turn it into a way to make a living. Number 7, be immune to failure and rejection. As I said, I take no for vitamins. And don't be too concerned about how people look at you or what people think about you either. I'm here just finishing up this video. Here in this airport lobby, I'm sure people think I'm crazy talking into this camera, but I don't care. I'm talking to you, I'm concerned about you and my purpose. So know who you are and stand for that. I take no for vitamins. That's number 7, be immune to failure and rejection. Number 8, get the memo on money. Sign up to Operation Hope, get the book How the Poor Can Save Capitalism as a start. Number 9, get a job. If you can't get a job, create a job. And number 10, expand your definition of family and leave a legacy of giving, because nobody cares about somebody who just got paid and took care of themselves, except the people that got paid by the person who got paid. Do well and do good. Do well by doing good. Learn to love somebody other than yourself, but start by loving you. I hope that you enjoyed this. Troy says, you are so right with all 10, but if I think that many young black men have a false idea of how to measure success, role models, etc. Yes, and I'm going to talk about the difference between getting paid and building wealth in another video. You're absolutely right. That was Troy Rett. And Keith Ricks, How Can One Role Model Success Without It Coming Across as Greed or the Love of Money. Read the book Love Leadership. Watch some of the other videos that talk about that. Ellen Staton, number 7, is key, very important. Nathaniel Steed, awesome. Glad Sean, Criterion, LaShawn, Bradford, thank you. Okay, I'll respond to some of these comments online. It's been a long video, 17 minutes. Got to catch our plane. Love you much.